Hi, it's time once again to take a look at what I colored for the month of April 2019, and I'll start with some new purchases. This is the Nutcracker Designs by Marty Noble, and I've had this on my wish list ever since I saw KP Colors do a flip through of it. And what gave me the incentive to buy it was John from the Bibliophile Colorist post on Instagram, hey, this book is on sale for $2.50. So I thought, yeah, I got to get this. So now I did this using these three pencils. These are, let's see if you can get that, yeah. Faber-Castell Goldfarber, and they have them open stock at Michael's, so I thought, yeah, I'll purchase a few, see how I like them. Now these don't have color names on them, so I tried to find the colors that matched the closest to the primary colors. This was the bluest true blue I could find according to their end cap. This color's more like a periwinkle or a light blue. But these two, very red, very yellow, and very vibrant. They color smooth, and they're not scratchy. And I gave them a test run on this page here, where I, did a lot of coloring. I've done a little bit of coloring with those in a couple of other books, but I wanted to give them, another chance. So I like them. And this one, Lovely Angels by Juliana Emerson. I saw Tasia over at France Kaleidoscope do a flip through last year, and I fell in love, and like the other book, it went on my wish list. But, like that old song, Love Jones, I had a coloring book Jones. So I said, I gotta get a couple of new coloring books this month, so that's what I did. And I did 2 pages in this one. This was done with Cezanne and Arteza colored pencils and some Prismacolor Scholars on her wings. I was looking for a very light blue, and that set has a color called Cloud Blue, and it was just the right shade I was looking for. And the other one, another angel on a swing. There we go. And she was done with Artezas mostly. Now this sash around her waist, I was going for a metallic look, like that type of mesh material that sometimes they make bows and ribbons out of. So what I ended up doing was coloring that with the gold Prismacolor Premier, and it was too dark. And I was going for more of a metallic yellow. Then I didn't get the look I was going for, so I just tried to make it a darker shade of green. And the background, I used chalk pastels. Now, this book I won from Deborah Muller in a contest. And I did one in here using gel pens. There we go. And that was done strictly with gel pens. And this was also for a color along co-hosted by Lavellis Coloring and K Artistic Treasures over on Instagram. And it was Color Your Hoard. And what that meant was find those books that you haven't colored in yet and color in them. And this was one of them. I don't know if you can see that. And shine, there we go. A little bit of shine there. And the second coloring book that I participated in with that color along was Creative Kittens by Marjorie Sarnett. And this was the page I did. And I used a variety of pencils and markers on this one. Arteza, Cezanne, Pelican pencils, and Sharpies. And oh yes, these pencils as well on these circles around here. I played around with them when I first got them and, you know, attempted a blend. This next one is Ornamental Fashions by Mingju Sun. And I did one in here. There we go. And on her dress I used Cezanne and Pen Gear gel pens. And I also used pencils on the butterflies and acrylic paint for the background. And I also did this for a Creative Haven color along on Instagram, hosted by Shades of Pure Joy. I love her username. It does. It brings a smile to my face when I read it. And this one is from Fairy Companions by Selena Finneck. And the background was done with Arteza watercolors, and the coloring on their hair and the wings was done with Cezanne pencils, and their skin was done with Art and Fly markers and shaded with pencil. And for the highlights on their dresses, I used gel pen and glitter glue. There's the shine right there. Oh, and this was also for a color along hosted by Color and Chat with Sammy. Hashtag Fantastical Fae and Fairy Tales. And that was a lot to type out. And I did one in Game of Thrones because winter is here. Well, in some parts of the world, it's coming close. And I did the Dothraki page. There we go. And on him, yeah, let's get this over here. I used markers on the horse and shaded with pencil as him. And I also used chalk pastels on the background. I think the markers were mostly Crayola Super Tips. And the Art and Fly for his skin. Now, for any of you that watch this series, explain to me how, okay, I got a spoiler coming up, if you haven't seen it yet. How did the Dothraki army go into the battle first and then totally disappear? I mean, come on. It was like they just got wiped out. I mean, they were the meanest, badass fighting force in Game of Thrones. And, I mean, somebody, I won't mention who, was able to kill them all with one stroke. But the Dothraki army, Alright. Anyway, I also have a couple of works in progress. I started the second panel in Coloring Medieval Times, Pictura by Levi Pinfold. And what I'm doing is I'm using Crayola watercolors as a base because they're translucent enough to not hide any of the details. And then when I get this done, go back in with, you know, adding pencil for shading and highlights. And finally, in World of Flowers by Joanna Basford, I finished this one. You know, the pages aren't really in order as in this book as they were in the beginning because they fall out all the time. I use it now, but I broke the spine to color in it, so that's what happens. I use Cezanne pencils and a little bit of white gel pen for accent. And the other work in progress I've got going in here is this beetle bug. I don't know how I'm going to color him yet or exactly what I'm going to do for the background white. I'm not sure yet. But I had a color scheme in mind, and it's worked out satisfactorily so far. I've been using Cezanne pencils and the Goldfaber, and they were, you know, all my pencil sets, all my sets work wonderfully on the paper in this book. Except for the premieres. Those I find myself having to use a blender pencil because they're just so dang soft. But anyway, that's my little update on what I colored for this month and some goodies I got. I don't think I'm really jonesing for anything in May. I think what my initial plan was to go back and color in books I hadn't colored in for several months. And participate in a few color-alongs too. So with that, I'll say take care and thanks for watching.